Hi guys, Happy New Year. With Happy New Year in mind, it's the middle of winter, it's bloody cold out there on the bike. I'm not one who gives up riding during the winter, and I've at long last succumbed to heated grips. And very kindly my wife bought me a pair for Christmas. Luckily she did ask me which ones I wanted, and in my mind there's only two that I would really recommend. There's lots of different manufacturers out there, but for me it's either Oxford or R&G. I got R&G. Brilliant. So I'll show you how they go on. Now, to save a bit of time, what I've actually done is I've removed the seat, as you can see. I've also removed a piece of the side fairing and a piece of the top fairing from in there, and I've actually threaded the wires through just to save time. You don't need to see how you thread a wire through. It's going to be different for every bike that you use anyway. The only problems that I've had is that most people tend to have theirs fitted on the handlebars there, or on a flat part there where they can use a sticky pad. I haven't got any space to put mine, so mine are going to be in there. At the moment that's just sitting in there, but it will be fixed and it will sit about there. So it's right in the middle. I will be able to get to it while I'm riding. That will all be cable tied, and basically it runs along, it goes underneath the bottom of the tank there, along that piece of the frame, along here, back underneath the tank, out of here and up to the back of the bike. Now some people will recommend that you go straight to the battery. I'm not going straight to the battery, because if I do forget to turn them off I'm going to have a flat battery, so I'm going through the ignition. I found a wire on the back of the fuse box there that works off of the ignition, and we're going to plug into that, which will be your red one, and then your black one will be for your earth, which will go on to that earth point there. Here are the grips. This set is actually made to fit 22mm bars. This is the throttle side, and basically once that's onto the bike, you run the cable in through. You have a plug there which will fit onto the wire that runs underneath, and then underneath there you've got the main control button which plugs in, and then on next to that there's one for each side. Dead easy to do. Now the worst part about doing these is getting the old grips off. If push comes to shove I'm just going to cut them off. But I'm going to try and get them off first without destroying them, and then should I need to reuse them at any point, they're ready to be reused. So the first thing we need to do in order to get this grip off is remove the bar end weight, and then we'll try and wriggle this grip off. Bar end weight out. Then what you want is a thin screwdriver, and try and wriggle that up underneath to break away any of the glue. And you just give it a good wriggle all the way around. There's a little bit of glue in places and not in others. That's actually looking quite good. I can wriggle that round all the way. It needs clamping up a little bit. All I'm doing is just easing it with a screwdriver, and it is moving back a little bit, and just want to be very gentle to start off with. I don't want it to slip and just go sliding down the tank. Right, so that's semi-clear. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, being that it's kind of loosened up most of the way, just put the screwdriver back in, lift it very slightly so we can get the straw in there. Makes a huge difference. All that is that I've squirted up was a little bit of GT85, which is just like a silicone spray. And there we go. Now you want to remember to keep twisting. As we go. And then that will just, let me try and get a little bit under the top end. So just the top end that's sticking. And here we go. Just keep twisting and just pulling slightly as you go. Now I know what you're thinking. You're all going to be saying that's going to be slippery when you put the new ones on. Well, obviously it won't be, because I shall have that all cleaned off by then. There we go. That's it all removed in one piece with no problems. Just need to wipe that off there. So that's just a little bit of glass cleaner just to get the rest of the GT85 off of there. So that's now nice and clean. Now when you put these on, you need to make sure that where the wire comes out at the end of the grip there is at the bottom, so that it's out of the way, and then you can run your cable in along, out of sight, out of mind. Now I'm just going for a trial fit. That's actually going to be fairly good, but we need to put something on there just to sort of make it stick, because the inside of these, I don't know if you can hear it, it's actually quite hard, quite a solid plastic, so it's hasn't really got like the rubber feel to it, so it wouldn't stay tight, run the risk of it running off the end. So needs a little bit of adhesive on there. You can use hairspray, which will help slide it on. They recommend either hairspray or some super glue, so I'm just going to put a little bit of super glue on there, but it will only be a blob or two. Okay, so we can't find any super glue, and I haven't got any bar grip glue, and being as I don't have any hair, I don't have any hairspray, so we're going to go with a little bit of Loctite and see how we get on with that. I'll see if I can get it open. There we go. Just in case I spill any. It would appear one has a small blockage. All we're going to do is very small amount. Bearing in mind this is meant as a thread lock rather than an adhesive. Okay. So that's gone on nice and easily. We've got the cable down the bottom so that I can run it underneath the bars and out of sight, and we've got room to get the bar end weight back on, which we'll do now. So just a little bit of fine tuning onto that. That won't come off now because the bar weight's holding it on anyway. But the last thing you want is to be riding and it be flipping around like a spare throttle. That's that side done. Okay, so now the throttle side. And I'm kind of being lazy in a way because really I should move the bike away from the wall and get round that side to do it, but we'll see if I can do it by leaning over. This is generally the more difficult side to do, so there is a possibility that in a minute you'll suddenly see me on the other side of the bike and the bike away from the wall. So I said you might see me over this side, and here I am. So we do exactly the same as on the other side. Now what we've got to be really careful of is underneath this side you've got a plastic sleeve which allows the throttle twist to be able to twist around easily. Now they are easily damaged, so you have to be really careful with your screwdriver. And we're going to go straight in because there was no glue on that side. I'm hoping there's no glue this side. Just in case any of it drips out, it's just easier to clean. And there we go, look, see we're all the way round nice and easily. Screwdriver out the way so we don't damage the tank or any of the other paint, and just continually twist. Just right at the very top is just sticking again. There's a little, there we go, and away we go. Now always twist this in the closed position, because what you don't want to be doing it's pulling against the cables the whole time. And there you go, another one safely removed, ready for the next time should it need it. Now I don't know whether the camera will pick it up without me taking it off the mount, but right on the very end here where my finger is, there's a small lip which beds into the end of there, which again just helps stop it sliding off. So we have a very small problem in that the lip on the end of here, I can, if I want, remove it because there's no groove inside there like there is on the old one. So it means this will only butt up against the lip, but lengthwise it looks about right. So what I'm going to do is just slide it on, and it's not a very tight fit, so I might have to work on that in a minute as well. Bang on the end of it and see if that will go up all the way before I glue it in place. Right. So it won't. That needs to be movable without moving the bar end weight, and it's not. It's going to no, it won't. So the heated grip needs to be shortened just very slightly. I think if I just take the lip off the end, that would be enough. So I've now trimmed up the grip so that it fits on there with the bar end weight and it moves freely. What I need to address now is the fact that it's such a slim tube that it's quite loose. So here we have self-amalgamating tape, and by stretching it, it causes a chemical reaction and the tape ends up being one solid mass of rubber. So we'll go for one revolution around there. This does two things. It gives it a key anchor point, but also it hides the little bit of grey that's showing. And then you excuse me. And then you just stretch. Oh, and if you're wondering what that noise is that keeps happening, it's the vent on my tank, just letting me know that it's got a bit of pressure in there, and then it lets itself go. Now I'm not going to go mental with this because it's not huge size difference. And I'll just go round and then one complete revolution so that it goes onto itself, because by going onto itself, that's when you get your solid mass of rubber. And that's now fits. And that now is a nice tight fit, but all I'm going to do, rather than knacker the tape, is let the tape go off, and then if necessary I can use a little bit of a lubricant, like some hairspray or something. Throttle still runs freely. I haven't got too tight onto the end. That now needs some time to go off, so it's time for me to go and have a cuppa. So here we go with the hairspray. Managed to find some of Mrs. Yankees. I'll just cover this now. Don't want too much hairspray over the bike. Well, in case you hadn't heard the fireworks, it's about 10 past midnight on New Year's night, so technically we're into New Year's Day, so my phone will now probably be going mental with people saying Happy New Year, because I was clever and I sent all mine out earlier on, and then while I was waiting for this to go off, I'm going to have my cuppa See the new year in with Mrs. Yankee. And now I've got everybody texting me to say Happy New Year. Right, now it's time to thread through all these cables. Now this is going to be a boring bit, so I'm not going to film this bit. I'm going to cut you off in just a second. Just going to pull that one through while I'm on this side. Now when you're doing the throttle side, remember to leave enough slack to be able to turn the throttle and still be able to get to the brakes. Right. Okay. Now, since going and having my cuppa, I've already downloaded the first lot of film that I shot and inadvertently deleted the very first part permanently, so I can't get it back. And what that was I just very quickly connected everything up to a battery just to make sure that it all worked before I fed all the wiring through. So if it doesn't work now, it's something that I've done, and we just saw that pulse as I turned it on then. And there we go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and the grips did get warm, and they take about 3 minutes to get to the temperature. I'm not going to leave them on because the engine's not running. I will get the key out of there in just a second. Just needs the handlebars turned a wee bit. There we go. Job done.